Your angels are guiding you to pay close attention right now because something important has taken place. Something that connects your heart to the heart of your special person in a way you may not have expected. For a long time, you have been wondering quietly if your person has taken a serious step toward you, if they have allowed their love for you to be seen not just in private, but in the most sacred space of their life, their family. The angels reveal that today, in a moment filled with nervousness yet also courage, your person showed your picture to their parents. This was not just a casual act. It was not something they did lightly or without meaning. It was a step that came after inner battles, after fears, after doubts, and after carrying the weight of whether their love could truly stand in the open. When they placed your photo before the very people who shaped them, they were not only sharing your face, but also offering a piece of their future, their hope, and their heart. Your angels want you to understand how deep this moment truly was. Your person may have trembled as they spoke. Their voice may have quivered, but the words that came out of their mouth were not rehearsed. They came from a place of truth that even surprised them. They spoke about you in a way they had not planned, words flowing from their soul rather than their mind. They said that you bring them balance, that your presence calms their storms, that with you they no longer feel like they are running away from themselves. For the first time in a long while, they felt grounded, safe, and whole, and they allowed their parents to see this truth. What their parents saw was not just a picture of you. They saw their child transformed. Perhaps they had been skeptical of love before, or maybe they doubted if their child could ever find someone who truly made them happy. But in this moment, something shifted inside them. They saw a light in their child's eyes, a light that had been missing for so long. One parent, who may have been the quiet or reserved one, was the first to speak, and their words carried a powerful vibration. They may not have said much, but they acknowledged that you were different, that you carried something special, something that made them pause and feel a sense of peace. Even through a photograph, they could sense your energy. They could feel your soul. The angels want you to know that this was not an easy step for your person. It took courage. It took surrender. They had to let go of the walls they had built to protect themselves. Sharing your photo was not only about introducing you, it was about showing that their heart had chosen you, that their love was no longer something to hide. In that moment, they bridged the world they came from and the world they are moving toward. And that bridge is you. Though the moment may have been brief, the energy it created will last forever. Something irreversible has happened. You are no longer someone they love in silence. You are someone they are willing to name, to honor, and to share. Your angels also whisper that after your picture was shown, something stirred within their parents. Perhaps it was a memory of their own younger days, a moment when they too were in love. For a brief second, they saw themselves reflected in their child's eyes, and they felt destiny's quiet heartbeat. They may not have said much in that moment, but they began to think of you. They started to wonder about your world, your dreams, your voice, your presence. You are no longer a mystery. They are curious. They are aware, and they feel drawn to you in a way they cannot fully explain. The angels want you to recognize that this step was guided by divine timing. Nothing about this moment was random. This was part of a sacred rhythm that you may have felt in your spirit long before today. You may have had dreams about it, quiet intuitions, or a stirring sense that something was about to shift. Now, The universe confirms that you were right. Your soul was not imagining things. This moment has always been written in your story. Even if your person downplays it or pretends it was no big deal, do not allow yourself to doubt what you know in your heart. Their vulnerability may make them hide the depth of their feelings, but the angels saw it all. They witnessed their courage, and they are proud of you as well, for holding faith, for believing in love even when it felt uncertain. This simple act of showing your picture has now opened unseen doors. Conversations will begin behind closed doors. Your name will be spoken when you are not in the room. One of their parents may even find themselves wanting to meet you, not out of mere curiosity, but because they sense something deeper, a pull that whispers that you are not ordinary. They may feel that you are meant to cross paths with their family. The angels remind you that you are chosen, you are light, and your path is being guided by divine hands. Even if things feel uncertain on the surface, know that your love is already walking into the light, no longer hidden, no longer afraid. Your angels also want you to know that your person feels different after this. They feel lighter, as though a weight has been lifted. They had been carrying the desire to share you with their family for so long, and now that they finally have, their spirit feels freer. They may not tell you how deeply this moment touched them, but inside they know something important has shifted. They no longer want to live in secrecy. They no longer want to keep their love for you in the shadows. They want to move forward. The parents may have exchanged quiet glances. They may not have said much out loud, but inside, they felt the energy of your presence. Even through a picture, your soul spoke. They may have felt as though they knew you, as though you carried a familiar peace that was destined to connect with their family. And though their words may not yet be loud, the seed has been planted. Seeds grow quietly at first, hidden in the soil, but soon they bloom into something visible, something beautiful. This is what has begun. The angels also remind you to have patience and not to let doubt cloud your heart. Sometimes the biggest steps in love happen quietly. They are not always dramatic or obvious, but they are powerful. A photo shared, a name spoken, a glance exchanged. These are sacred acts that shift energy in ways far greater than you realize. Today, love has taken a step forward. It may seem small in human eyes, but in the spiritual realm, it is enormous. Your person's decision to share you with their family is also a declaration of responsibility. They are saying to themselves and to their parents that you are not just someone they like for now. You are someone they see a future with. They may even have spoken words that hinted at this, telling their parents that you bring them peace, focus, and clarity. They may have admitted that with you, they feel ready to build, to settle, to live with purpose. This is not the kind of language that comes from fleeting attraction. It comes from a soul that has decided. Their parents, especially the one who tends to be more traditional, may have noticed this difference. They may have remembered all the phases, all the doubts, all the passing interests of the past. But this time they saw something new. They saw certainty. They saw commitment. They saw transformation. Your person didn't flinch. They didn't dismiss their feelings. They didn't run. They stood firm, rooted in the energy of love that no longer wants to hide. The angels ask you to be proud, not just of your person, but of yourself, because it is your love, your authenticity, your steady presence that gave them the courage to take this step. At times you may have wondered if you were enough, if they truly saw your worth, if your quiet loyalty was being noticed. The angels say yes, it was. They see you. They see the strength in your softness, the grace in your patience, the beauty of your spirit. And today, their parents have begun to see it too, even if they stay quiet for now, even if they do not rush to say much. The truth is that you are already part of their awareness. Your picture will stay with them. They may look at it again in private, wondering who you are, curious about your laughter, your kindness, your presence. You are no longer a stranger. You have entered their family's vibration. And this is how true love begins to take root, not just in romance, but in the joining of hearts, in the opening of spaces once closed. The angels assure you that this step has changed everything. From this day forward, the energy of your relationship will feel different. You may notice more openness, more closeness, more readiness to move forward. This is because love is no longer hiding. It is no longer silent. It has been spoken into existence. And once love is spoken, it cannot be undone. Your person has declared, in their own way, that you are not temporary, not a passing thought. You are someone they see a life with, someone they want to honor before the people who matter most to them. So breathe, dear soul. Let this truth settle in your heart. You are already more loved, more seen, and more valued than you realize. You are part of something divine, something sacred, something that is unfolding with perfect timing. The angels are holding you in this truth and reminding you that this is only the beginning. What comes next may surprise you even more. But for now, rest in the beauty of knowing that today your person did not just show your picture. They showed their heart. And that is where miracles begin. Dear child, the angels are holding you close today, wrapping you in gentle love as they deliver a message that speaks not of perfection, but of truth, transformation, and the kind of love that rises from the deepest valleys of the soul. They know the ache you've been carrying in silence, the questions you've held in your heart, the quiet wondering about whether the person you love, the one who holds your heart even in ways they don't fully realize, has finally taken a step that could change everything. For so long, you've wondered, have they shown your picture to their parents? Have they spoken of you not as a fleeting moment, but as someone their heart keeps returning to? And today, the angels whisper to you with certainty, yes, they did. But dear one, it did not happen in the way you might imagine, not in a perfect moment of celebration, not in an atmosphere filled with joy and ease. Instead, it happened through surrender. For your person has been carrying something heavy on their spirit for a long time. Burdens of family expectations, echoes of old heartbreaks, fears of failure, and questions of whether they were ever enough. These weights have pressed down on them until they reached a point of emotional exhaustion. And in that breaking point, not destructive but transformative, light finally entered. They could no longer hide. They could no longer pretend. They dropped the mask and spoke the truth. And that truth, beloved child, was you. It happened not according to a perfect plan, not in candlelight or under calm skies, but in the midst of raw human emotion. Maybe there was tension, maybe a silence that cut deep, maybe a lingering conflict that stirred the air. In that moment, when their defenses crumbled, they reached for you. They pulled out your picture, not as a trophy, not as something to boast about, but as a lifeline. They said, "This is the one who brings me peace. This is who I want." It was not polished, not rehearsed, not carefully presented. It was trembling, emotional, imperfect, yet glowing with the faint but undeniable light of hope. Their parents may have been shocked, but not because of you. Rather, they were taken aback because they saw their child in a way they had not seen before, stripped of pretense, vulnerable, open, crying out for understanding. The picture of you was not offered in pride, but in surrender. And in that moment of exhaustion and honesty, your person spoke of you with a depth that only emerges when the soul has reached its breaking point and discovered what truly matters. Through tears, through frustration, through weary surrender, they admitted what they had long tried to hide. Words like, "I don't care what anyone thinks anymore. This person is home to me. I've been lost for so long, and with them I finally feel found. I've been distant, confused. I've hurt them before, but I can't lie to myself anymore. This person is my peace." Though this may sound to you like a story wrapped in sadness, the angels want you to see the beauty within it. Because when a soul reaches rock bottom, when it can no longer carry the weight of masks and expectations, it either shatters or it rises. Your person, dear child, is rising. They are done hiding. They are done bending beneath the heavy shadow of other people's expectations. They are standing in the truth of what their heart has always known, that their love for you is not fleeting, not temporary, not uncertain. It is part of who they are, part of who they are becoming. This realization did not come easily. It came with tears, with regrets, with the haunting memory of moments where they pushed you away or kept silent when they should have spoken. But today, in front of the very people who raised them, something cracked open. For the first time, they let your name fall into the sacred circle of family. And though it may not have been met with clapping hands or immediate celebration, it was received. And that, dear child, is far more powerful than you realize. The angels remind you that the most profound declarations of love do not always come wrapped in poetry or presented in grand gestures. Sometimes they come in the middle of breakdowns, when the soul has no energy left to pretend, when the heart blurts out the one thing it cannot deny. That is what happened today. Your person may have been weary. They may have been emotional. Their words may have stumbled, but they spoke their truth, and that truth was you. Their parents have now seen your face. They have heard your name. Even if they did not respond with excitement, something shifted. They saw their child, usually strong on the outside but secretly breaking inside, find strength in simply mentioning you. They noticed the way your picture, your presence, brought a flicker of light back into tired eyes. And even if they stayed quiet, even if they did not voice acceptance right away, they felt you. They felt your energy, your presence, the truth of who you are. The angels ask you to be compassionate in this moment. Perhaps you have been waiting for a fairy tale introduction, an easy and joyful meeting of hearts. Instead, what you have received is something far more sacred, truth spoken in vulnerability, truth that emerged not from convenience, but from pain, truth that broke through silence and fear. That is love in its purest form, not staged, not rehearsed, not polished, but raw, trembling, and real. You may be wondering now, What was said behind those closed doors, beyond what you have been told? The angels assure you, your person spoke of you with depth, even if their words were tangled in emotion. They defended you. They claimed you. They brought you forward not as an option, but as an answer. Maybe there had been doubts cast their way. Maybe their choices were questioned. Maybe their very identity felt under scrutiny. And in that moment, they reached for your picture, for your name, for the truth they could no longer deny. This is the person I care about, they said. Or, I won't keep hiding this. I won't keep justifying it. This is real. Perhaps their voice sounded defensive. Perhaps their energy seemed rebellious. But what matters most, dear soul, is that in a moment where silence would have been easier, they chose you. They could have walked away. They could have remained quiet. But they did not. They put your face, your name, your energy into that sacred circle. That is love. And the angels want you to know something beautiful. Your presence in that room, even through a photo, stirred something deep. One of their parents, perhaps the one who never easily approves, fell silent in a way that was not dismissive but thoughtful. They paused. They felt your presence. They may not have spoken praise, but the energy shifted, because energy speaks louder than words, and your energy was undeniable. They sensed strength in your eyes, softness in your aura, a quiet mystery in your spirit. That silent recognition was the beginning of acceptance, and it will grow over time. The angels say this moment, though messy, imperfect, and born of exhaustion, has created ripples that will not fade. Your person may not tell you the full depth of what happened. They may downplay it. They may even act as though it was nothing. Not because it was nothing, but because it was everything. And they are still trying to process it. They are not used to fighting for love. They are used to retreating, to hiding, to avoiding. But for you, they stood their ground. They let their heart speak. And once the heart has spoken, it cannot be silenced again. This is why the angels urge you to rest in peace and reassurance. You are not hidden. You are not forgotten. You are not a secret anymore. You have been spoken. You have been shown. You have been introduced into their world. That seed has been planted, and though it may take time to grow into full acceptance, it will grow. Today was not about perfection. It was about truth. And truth, even when wrapped in exhaustion, even when spoken through tears, is the most powerful thing of all. Your person is rising, dear child, rising out of fear, out of silence, out of doubt, rising into love, into truth, into the kind of surrender that leads to transformation. And you, your presence, your love, your patience, were the light that led them there. So breathe now, and let this message wash over you. What you long to know has been answered. Yes, they showed your picture. Yes, they spoke your name. Yes, they claimed you, not perfectly, but truthfully. And that is the beginning of everything.